Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. We've been interviewing a lot of candidates for a lot of offices over this last couple of weeks. We're nonpartisan. I might lean one way, but I try not to let too many people know about it. But I want everybody who wants to be involved, everybody to have a say, to have a way to get involved and be involved. So we invited the heads of both the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. Just come down and talk to us. Tell us what's going on and how people could get involved. The only one who took us up on it is the Republican, Fred Vanderhoof. You're head of the Republican Party locally.
That's right, man. Chairman
of the party.
Right.
And you've always come and been very open with discussing
That's right.
things with us. Whether we agree or disagree, we seem to agree a lot. I don't know why. But anybody's welcome, so we're not leaving the others out. They just don't come.
Right.
So anyway, I'm not condemning them for that or anything. But we asked, do you have a way that people who are tired of, how things are going, where they could get involved?
We do. Thank you for asking.
Sure.
We, I've been thinking about this for several years. Mm-hmm. Whenever somebody runs, we usually go out to their place and then we walk a precinct for them, which is good.
Mm-hmm. So if a candidate's running for Congress or legislature, you'll help them cover.
Right. We'll help them cover, but it might be on the other side of town. It might be in another village or town or city.
I always get sent to a place I'm not familiar with.
Right.
To walk precincts, or I get sent out of town.
That's exactly right, and that's okay. We have to do that, but I've always wondered what would it be like to have people walk their own neighborhood. And I thought, there must be somebody that has done this. Well, I found somebody. It's in Arizona, and they've covered about 36% of all the precincts in the whole state.
Wow! And
what they do is they go just to their neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. So they ask people to be precinct captains. We call it neighborhood team leader or NTL, same thing. But they go just to their own neighborhood. So I say it's like neighborhood watch. Mm-hmm. And so it's similar. And then we only go to Republicans, just Republicans. So that narrows the number of people we have to contact.
Registered Republicans. So you skip the houses that are not registered, and you skip the people who are not in your party.
Right. But the amazing thing is, in Arizona, we're seeing Kerry Lake and others do very well. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to have some big wins there in 6 days, as well as other states. But it really helps. It doubles the turnout. And they've been doing it for several years.
If your neighbor asks you to vote, you're more likely to go vote.
Right. Because what we're finding is that probably across the board, Democrat, Republican, Independent, there's a good 30, 40%, sometimes over 50% that do not vote.
They just don't vote.
Right. They don't vote. So when they see somebody coming to their door and knocking on the door, and it makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Because we say, I'm your neighbor 2 streets over. Right. And I'm a Republican, and hey, you got to vote.
Do you see possibly that this neighborhood team leader might not just be around at election time, but throughout the, between and building relationships and?
Right. We hope to do that. We hope to build rapport. The whole idea is for the team leaders to build rapport with their neighbors. Right. So yes, we hope that it will be permanent. This is the first time we've done it, but we're going to stay in touch with them and encourage them to keep building rapport with their neighbors. So it makes a huge difference, and we've got them all over the area, even small towns like Sanger and Reedley, but primarily in Fresno City and Clovis.
Okay, that's a good start right there. Now. So people don't have to run for city council or run for Congress to get involved. They can get involved at this grassroots level.
Exactly. We can all look at our TV and get upset of what's going on. We can hear speakers. It's good to hear speakers for whatever concerns us. But that's information. Right. So what this is action. Right. So we have to have 2 sides of the coin. Yep. We have to get the information, but then we have to do something with it. And this allows us to do that. So I'm personally really excited about it. Yeah. And we're seeing people are very interested in doing it.
I tell you, elected leaders, I was one, you get calls from all kinds of people and people wanting to influence you and complain about stuff. But an example right here in our area, Kevin McCarthy, he is probably going to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
6 days.
And could you
probably so.
imagine when he's the speaker, if you had been, well, I was one of your neighborhood team leaders. I really worked hard for you.
Right.
That's the way to get a hold of Kevin McCarthy.
That's
Instead
right.
of just calling
Yeah.
up and complaining. So
Well-
it's a way to get involved and maybe have a little influence yourself.
Exactly, and it's going to encourage people to run for local office too.
Right.
We put a huge emphasis this year on local city councils and school boards all over the county,
Right.
from Coalinga to Kingsburg and Mendota and everywhere. And so if they're a neighborhood team leader, they think, hey, this is kind of fun. I think I can make a difference.
I'm involved, right?
Yeah.
Get involved. I tell you this, you probably have it more than I do, but people come to me all the time and say, hey, I'm going to run for this or I'm going to run for that. Here are my ideas. And I said, save your ideas. I'm sure you have good ideas. I want to know how you're going to win. It's about getting door to door and contacting the voters
Right.
more than just having good ideas.
Right.
So you're kind of starting people out at the grassroots if they want to get
Right.
into politics someday.
Right.
This is a good way to start.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of
And
the nuts and bolts.
Right, and I know when you ran for city council and others for city council, you knock on the doors as many as you
Knock
can.
on
And,
the door,
and
yeah.
I've seen some city councilmen in the past that they took off their shoes and there are holes in their bottom of their shoes.
There's
because
holes in the bottom.
yeah,
That's how you win.
That's what
So,
that's where it's
especially
at.
in the tough races. So,
Right.
we're broadcasting today. It's November 2nd, Wednesday, November 2nd. People may be watching this even after the election, but the election's coming up on the 9th?
8th.
The 8th,
Yeah, yeah.
Tuesday, November 8th.
Right.
Now, people could vote right now.
Yes, they can. We encourage people to vote on election day or right before. Unfortunately, there have been some ballots stolen
Yeah.
in Fresno County. Where you don't hear much about it, but you do hear about the other election-related material that was found. Often wherever it was found. That's happened several times, but we have had. I've talked to law enforcement. I don't want to say who it is, but we have had actual ballots after they voted that have been taken out of mailboxes.
Oh, my goodness,
So
yeah.
hopefully it's not happening, in a very large manner. But because of that, we encourage people to wait till a little bit later.
Oh, I
and by
see.
the way, they can go to a vote center, 4-day or 11-day vote center,
Yeah.
and they can surrender their ballot. And we encourage that too. And then they take it. The people behind the table take the ballot and they set it aside. They'll give you a new one, and then you can mark it. It's like the old days. You go a little cubicle, mark the ballot, and then you go to, and you can see it be put into the machine. So we encourage 11-day vote, 4-day vote centers.
I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists, particularly that there's people are stealing elections, but there's always fraud.
There's always fraud.
I know two people who have not got their ballot.
Mm-hmm.
They got all the material. Now, when my ballot was mailed, I got a text from the county,
Right.
and I got a text from the state. They say, hey, your ballot's on the way. So it made me look for it, and I found it. But two people, their
Right.
ballot did not arrive. So that was kind of...
And we had a woman call our office just yesterday, and this happens too. She went to vote, and they said, well, you've already voted. She said, no, I haven't. And so
Oh,
someone
wow.
voted in her place, so they gave her a provisional ballot.
Yeah.
But provisional ballots are not always counted.
Right.
They
can be challenged,
Yeah,
yeah.
they can be challenged. So
I hope every one of those is investigated. I mean,
Right,
hey,
well-
I didn't vote, but somebody voted in my name.
Right. Hopefully there'll be investigations coming.
Right.
We're seeing some good things happen around the country with election integrity issues. Pennsylvania just this week, a few days ago, they made a ruling, and then that helped election integrity. They said they couldn't count ballots after, I think it was after the day of the election, something like that. And then Wisconsin's made a ruling, and a lot of these states were the ones that we looked at 2 years ago.
Right.
Wisconsin made a favorable ruling which tightens up election integrity.
Well, let me ask you this. We're way out of time, but I could talk about this all day long. If somebody's watching and they want to get involved in the neighborhood, what's it called, neighborhood?
Can I hold it?
Yeah, please.
All right.
Neighborhood
Well,
program?
neighborhood team leader. This is our voting guide.
Okay.
And they have this at FresnoGOP.org. It has both sides, who to vote for. But yeah, for the neighborhood team leader that we were talking about, it's so important. We've got Thursday and Saturday where we train people. It's really easy. They can come in for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And we'll give them a lot of these, and they're on their way.
Neighborhood team leaders.
Neighborhood team leader from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday, Saturday, this Saturday, is 1 to 5, and our office is 770 East Shaw,
Okay, whereabouts is that, Shaw?
First and Shaw.
First and
so
Shaw.
it's right across from Fashion Fair, behind Wells Fargo and Chase Bank.
And now's the time. I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's not too late to get involved.
No, it
In fact,
isn't.
it's really important you get involved right now.
They can go out this weekend, or they can go out Monday, next
Okay.
Monday, a day before the election, and still make a big impact. So we encourage people, just come to our office. They can call if they want, 225-2566. They can call if they want. But if they just come to our office between those hours, 11 to 5, and then 1 to 5,
Very good.
you just walk in, and we'll give you a short training. They're on the way.
Tell me the web address again.
FresnoGOP.org.
FresnoGOP.org. Go there. I bet all the answers are there.
Right.
Phone numbers there. Where
Right.
the headquarters is
Right.
there.
Right.
FresnoGOP.org. And thank you, Fred.
You bet. Thank
come
you.
every election. We want
Yeah.
transparency. We want a lot of information, and we want a way for people to get involved.
Good. Thank you.
Fred
Great.
Vanderhoof,
Okay.
the chairman of the Fresno County Republican Party, will be back with more right after this.